How are we confronting these people that the world already knows so much about and universally agree were evil?
But they don't know so much about them. We're confronting them by exposing them. I tell you why they did, what they did, why they did it, and how they accomplished it. I'm not a shrink, but based upon 50 years of reporting, I've seen pretty much every evil you could possibly see.
But now the government soldiers have driven the rebels out of town and into the mountains.
And it always stayed with me, and I always wanted to write about it someday.
Why do we need this book, Bill?
You know, we live in an age that's complicated, and we have nuclear weapons, and the earth could be obliterated by evil. The destruction capacity is there. So you need to know, if you are a human being that wants a good society, a good life, that there are people who take it away from you. He's absolutely there.
Right on the top of that list and right on the cover of the book is the current Russian President Vladimir Putin. His reputation for corruption, assassination, and warmongering is well earned. What's worse, O'Reilly says he is only getting bolder. 20 pages in Confronting Evil to Vladimir Putin. By far the biggest chapter.
Right.
Why?
He's a danger to us. Enjoys inflicting suffering on people. He's a mass murderer. Gets away with everything, and we document that. I mean, he's blowing people out of the sky, and he's poisoning people in London. And I mean, this is a guy who's totally out of control. No constraints on him at all.
You open the chapter on Vladimir Putin with him as a KGB man.
Right. The Soviet Union dissolved. He was furious. He was running the KGB office in Dresden. And he went out, confronted a crowd by himself with a handgun.
He stood him down.
And the crowd dispersed.
Yeah, Putin stared the crowd down with only a handgun. There's something behind those eyes that have always been there, right?
That's what evil does. People can sense evil. Then we go into his childhood, who perfectly explains why he's a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist. So Putin has two brothers, both died. And his father works a night shift and beats the hell out of Vlad and is often drunk on vodka. So Vlad basically splits when he's about 12 years old. And he goes into a gang. And then Vlad graduates, naturally, into the totalitarian Soviet system, where you beat up people that don't agree with you or kill them.
Всегда помнить о тех, кто создал российское государство, отстаивал его достоинство, делал его великим, мощным, могучим государством.
Putin right now is the richest man on the planet. The irony is he can't spend the money. He's been designated a war criminal. He cannot spend the money that he has extorted from the Russian economy.
There's a famous moment with you confronting Donald Trump about Vladimir Putin.
Will I get along with him? I have no idea. It's very
He's a
possible
killer,
I
though.
won't.
Putin's a killer.
A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
I warned him.
He dismissed it, though.
He did.
Why?
Because he wanted to believe. People believe what they want to believe, Leland.
Yeah.
And he wanted to believe that he could deal with Putin.
Is Trump changed since that interview?
Definitely. Because Putin has disrespected Trump in Trump's mind. Now, when they talk on the phone, Putin is exceedingly polite, even deferential.
Old KGB training, manipulation.
Whatever you want, Donald.
Peace, great, I'm all in on negotiations. Right. And then that night he's launching attacks on Ukrainian hospitals.
Right. That's who Putin is.
It's been well established that confronting Vladimir Putin can be bad for your health, right?
You'll die.
Russian activist and Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny has died.
So Putin's enemies, businessmen, journalists, dissidents, defectors, all end up dead publicly. Why does Vladimir Putin do these things so publicly on the world stage?
Sends a message that he's above all law, he's above America, he's above everybody. He can do what he wants, and he will.
Повторю. Испытания в боевых условиях ракетной системы «Орешник» проводятся нами в ответ на агрессивные действия стран НАТО в отношении России.
Look, here's how bad it is. Confronting evil, I can't go to Moscow now after writing this book.
You worried?
No, if it happens, it happens.
But according to O'Reilly, there would be no Putin without his predecessor and role model, Joseph Stalin, who receives and richly deserves his own chapter in Confronting Evil.
Putin idolizes to this day Joseph Stalin.
Joseph Stalin completed the Russian Revolution's descent from its utopian ideals into a totalitarian communist dictatorship. Stalin's collectivist economic plans yielded widespread famine. His purges and gulag prisons liquidated millions of his own countrymen. He initially allied with Hitler, only to be blindsided when the Blitzkrieg raged across his borders. Russia might well have been defeated in World War II, but Stalin threw limitless lives into the Battle of Stalingrad.
The orders were, in writing, if any Russian retreats, they're to be shot.
And Stalin, at that point, didn't care about the losses.
He never cared about the losses, ever.
Lives to him were meaningless.
They were just numbers. He couldn't care less how many people died, even his own people. He was killing his own people.
Millions of his own.
Yeah, starving them, relocating them. Anything to protect the state.
75 years later, Vladimir Putin would employ the same meat grinder strategy in Ukraine. You go back to Stalin's childhood. You write about him getting beaten up by a drunk father, trying to shield his mother, living in abject poverty.
Well, Putin and Stalin had almost the exact same upbringing. Okay, so if you want to understand what Putin does, what he does, you got to know Stalin.
You think about neo-Marxists, neo-socialists, whatever you want to call them. They say, but for Stalin, communism, socialism would work. It's not a failed system. It's just that Stalin went a little too far.
Oh, yeah. There has never been on this planet a socialist or communist government that has succeeded in the long
We keep trying it.
term.
Americans have seen what happens with socialism, with communism. People.
No, they haven't. You go into any public high school and you ask these urchins about communism, socialism, you don't know what you're talking about. The older
Is that a problem?
people, oh, huge.
Is that why Memdami? Is that why Memdami?
Bernie Sanders is a communist. He's not a socialist. He's a communist. If you trace him back, he honeymooned in Moscow. Do you know anybody else has done that? Okay.
No,
Okay.
not exactly a tourist destination.
And so if you don't understand the viciousness of the communist system, which is you have no rights, we'll seize all your property, and if we want to kill you, we'll kill you. That's what communism is. And you go into high school, and they don't
Free
know.
buses.
They don't know.
State-run grocery stores. Sounds pretty good. You note that Stalin, among the group of evildoers, was not particularly brilliant. He wasn't particularly charismatic. He wasn't some great economic mind. How was he able to do it?
Brute. He's a brute.
You brutalize a population, you kill tens of millions of people as Stalin did, and at the end, millions come to Moscow. You end the chapter with 40 people crushed to death trying to see the casket.
Right, the casket.
So explain how someone does that to a society, and yet they spend their last rubles to come to Moscow and see the casket.
Most people in these totalitarian countries are ignorant. They just don't know. If you go to a vibrant country, a democracy, people, free press, right? You can watch NewsNation and get some info. There's no NewsNation in Russia now. There's no NewsNation. Or under Stalin, no free press, no free flow of information. How are they going to know?
What is it about Stalin that Putin admires?
Power. Absolute power.
And that's what Putin wants.
Well, he has it in Russia.
Разумеется, выбирая в случае необходимости и в качестве ответных мер объекты для поражения такими системами, как Орешник, на территории Украины.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.